I put into one of my pieces philosophy, and it's not that I know philosophy, right? It's not that I know philosophy. It's like, what is philosophy, right? What is philosophy? Quite literally, right? It starts off with quite literally. Also to note that we're going to go through some times. We're going to go through some times. Let's mark off some special times. 1 hour and 3 minutes, so we can use an hour, which can be 63 seconds, or we can have 63 minutes. So when we have 63 seconds, can we have the 100th, right, of a second? But do we have the 100th of the minute? No, we're going to run the 100th of the second. So what are we going to do of the minute? How do we break down the minute, right? So the first one we come up with is the 60 minutes, or how about the 61st minute in first, right? So what do we get? We get the church. If we flip it upside down from the church, we get the 91st minute, and that becomes the spirit. It's funny how we come into the sixth life from the 9 birth, how we go from the spirit into the church. So we also get 13 times 7 equals to 91. The Mayan? The Mayan, right? The Mayan run a 20 by 18 equals to 360. They also say they run a 26 by 10 equaling to 260, and I would think it would be an N through Z equaling 260. Is that 10 per alphabetical letter? Where would I get 10 per alphabetical letter, right? Like, if I had to count the second half of the alphabet, every letter would have a value of 20. 20 times 13 equals 260. Pretty interesting so far. How you guys doing? Right? You guys okay? We're gonna unplug this. How's everybody doing? You're okay? You guys are okay? Yeah? Yeah, little doggies? Inside the house. What would the cat be doing right now? What would the cat be doing? So now we get over to the 62nd minute. Right, so we're at the 62nd minute. The ND in second. SECOND. We have the 18 for the ND. I don't know why I don't remember right now, ND is 18. I gotta put that in my head. RD is 22. The thing with numbers is there are so many categories and places they have to be. And now the question is, how do I classify them? What do I do? Do I look at the 24-hour clock? And you do know we need preparation time with the clock, right? Do we look at the 1,440 minutes in a day? Do we look at the 86,400 seconds in a day? Which you do know, multiply that by 3 equals 25,920. So that is 3 days. So a great year is now equal to 3 days and seconds. How is everybody? Talking very low, don't have much of a voice, but I am inclined to share as I go over some old notes, as people ask me different questions, as I find it so important to know these little criterias in what makes everything so much more important. Like even when we get to 103, right, which is 63 minutes, 63 seconds. If it was 63 seconds, sorry, 63 minutes, that would then equate to 3,780. So I got to see how much 3,760 is divided by 60. That's 62. 62 times 60 equals to 3,720. So there's something happened, because there's something that happens at 3,760, right? 3,760, we have to remember. 3,760, is that what it is? 3,760 and 20, 25. Yep, that's about right. That's right. That's another focal point in time, right? Actually, it can also be measured up as 2 years before and 2 years after for time cycles, because everything cycles up to a maximum of 4. Anything above 4 should be divided again, the whole number, in order to find out why there's a difference of 4. There should never be a difference of more than 4. It's all about A, B, C, D. Now I know it shows 0 people here, but I don't believe it. I don't believe it at all. For me, the whole world is here. The entire world is here right now, at this moment. Maybe the human part might not be here, but the entire entity is here right now. Before this even gets out to a human soul, this is all being structured out through AI, to whether or not I'm speaking proper words or not. What you get to see, what you don't get to see. Somebody's, I don't know if they asked me that question, right? Let me see how they top chats. I don't know why they're not. Okay, I don't know why that's not showing me. I don't get involved in whether we are or we're not. I'm here for the mathematics, for the understanding of numbers, of where everything goes. I can give you all this information of what happens with numbers, and if it can recalibrate or calibrate, or if you can calibrate with what's going on around you and resonate with the numbers, you shouldn't have any difficulty to figure out whether or not you should be wasting your time on that. So that's up to you, because everything's a waste of time. Notice inside waste, right, is also the word 8. So it's also a questionable term. Because we also have waste management. What might be waste for one might not be the waste of another. And remember about the hips and the ships with waist. Why? Because around your waist are your hips. So if around your waist are your hips, right, you have to think about your basin. Your basin is right here. When you go ahead and look under the skeleton, show me the human skeleton from behind. Right here. See the B letter coming over here? Over here, we're going to call it the cage. We have to look at things just on base value. Here is where your B comes in. Here's where your colon comes in. See the central moon? Here you get a split moon at the hips. But here you get a central moon. You see that little thing over here? That's from the snake, how the snake plugs in over here. And then you have, what do you want to call these? What do we call this, right? Every animal has a different name for one of these. We call them the B of 1. Bone, B1, bone. Cranium, We have to understand the balance of the act of speech. I'm trying to see if I can follow this over here with my my phone. Just give me a second. I have to, and if you'd like to help support the channel, I really need to pick up my computer, or I really want to. For me, it's just going to be a little bit more relaxing. I have a whole lot of stuff to set up. I just want to feel at ease, and I'm not. Is this a ploy? Am I seeding you? I am. Just trying to see, they say I'm not, so let me go over here. Oh yes, okay. Advance, save to device, play in queue, save to playlist, download video. Not sure if it's share. Okay, edit, right? I'm gonna edit, add the playlist. It's for today. Altered, no. Is it for kids? The World Theory, God, Cube, Kabbalah, Cube. I don't like that one. I don't like that one. Add a tag. Oh, it still didn't give me it right. Edit in advanced settings. Oh yes. I'm gonna put it over here. Okay, got this going. Now I have to see, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to see if I can see my own video to answer anybody's questions. It's because it's not showing up over here. Okay, there we go. I have to see. So I had, okay, so after that there were 2 questions, and you know, E and U, right? So that's 5 and 21. That is 521. That's funny that you even asked that, right? That's part of Earth-Mars system. That's memory. That's 512. That's 256. That's 188. That's 64. That's actually saying we're going to join the Zion, you know, the lion Zions, right? The Zions and the lions. And those with lights, that is his lights, Israelites, all the number 64 part of what is the Leon, what is Noel, what is Christmas, what is Musk, what is number 64, part of Jacob's ladder, taking part in both worlds, both Earth and Mars, under the sequences of moons, the major 3 sequences of moons running. The question is there an extra moon, or is it all that we see within the eye of light? When I block my eyes, I see a circle within. Okay, do you know with whose eyes you see? Is it more with the eyes you see or with the breath you take? For what we hear, we can communicate, but not all of us. Not with our voice, not really with our ears, unless you hear the music. What do we know? What do you believe? What do you absolutely concretely know? I can tell you 100%, I see with my eyes, but what I see, I do not know. I do not know this vibration in front of me. I can't touch it. I can barely see it, but I do see it. I do see it when I look on an angle, right? But what am I seeing? Am I contorting my own eyes to see something that's not there, to make believe I see something? I see the shadows on the wall. I see the light in front of me, shining into me. I see when I look at it, it makes me see stuff on the way there that I can barely see the light. I can see the light just spinning. So what are we going to talk about today? Who's still here? Let me just turn this down so we're just only one of us. I want to see if anybody was going to join me from TikTok before I go any further. So nobody seems to understand that we're in a funneling system right now. Trying to look what's going on in other places for a minute. So we're in a funneling system. We're in the dark funnel right now. What does it mean? In French, it's the entonnoir. What does it mean? It means the black funnel. The noir, right, is 27 and 29, bringing both black and brown together, right? Inside the word black in French, it brings together both brown and black. Okay, NO is 29, right? OR is 27, 72, 27, 72. 29 and 27 is NOIR. Now sometimes some might say spell it with an E, and then everything would change, but that wouldn't change anything. The E is the primary source of this creation. Somebody asked me if we got rid of the MONEY, I would say, well, there would be no monkey, there would be no Monday. So that means we would get rid of the second day of the week. Getting rid of the second day of the week, why didn't we just get rid of the first day of the week? What's the difference between the first and the second day of the week? And how do we not know that? Saturday is not the first day of the week. How do you know that? That Saturday is not the first day of the week. Binary code, right? Binary code ends and begins on the first day and on the seventh day. So what would that say? If the first day was the beginning of creation, then everything should have been created by the seventh day. So does that mean by the seventh day, we become like what is one? Do you follow what I'm saying with this? And as we count up to 7 days, we had the first day, and then we had the second day. And then we had the first day, the second day, and then we're in the third day. And then we're in the fourth day. And then we're in the fifth day. And then we're in the sixth day. And then we're in the seventh day. But nothing began, and I don't like that this is backwards, but nothing began. We only had the first day. There was nothing. There was nothing until completed into the second day. So nothing began until the third day. We needed 1 and 2 to take position. Let's say I like to position my moons. So we're going to jump off of this part for the 7 days of the week, and then obviously we need the 4 by 7 equals to the 28-day moon cycle, right? And then what we need is we need a 3 by 21 equals to 63, and then 1 by 21 equals to 21 plus 63 equals to the 84 day for the 3 moon cycle. Every cube, right, we need a singular cube, okay, has 21 dots on it. So if we want to cycle in a moon, I need a cube, and then I need 1/3 of the cube. I need 1.13, okay, times what is 21 to equal 28. So if I get 1 and 1/3, that would be 4, right? That would be 4 divided by 3 equals 1.333. That's the cycle we run right now. We're running the 3/4 cycle. So everything we do and everything I like to do is first understanding that is the 1 day of 24 hours. Then it is the 2-part days of 12 hours. Then it is the 3-part days of 8 hours and the 4-part days of 6 hours. And then it becomes the 6-part days of 4 hours, right? And then it becomes the 8-part day of 3 hours. And we don't get the 9-part day, but does the 9-part day work? The 9-part day is 130, 140, 140. Does that work? 9 by 140 equals 900 and 360. 9 by 160? No. 170, 180, 170, 140 equals to, okay, 9 by 160 is 540 and 900. Yes, that's perfect. That's perfect. It's 160. So it's 9 times 160 minutes, right? And there's other things like this, but I'm just going to work on the 160. The star system works on 160. What is the star system? Is when we crisscross onto these numbers, right? 1, 7 and 3, 1 and 9, 4 and 6. That's 30. Then I did 1 and 9, 3 and 7, 2 and 8. That's 30. Now I do 4, 6, 2, 8 with 1, 9 and 4, 6, 2, 8 with 3, 7. After that I do 1, 9, 7, 3, 2, 8, 4, 6. So I get 40 for the big star. So I get star 40, and then I get 4 times 30, okay, equals to a total of 160. We stay under the 170 mark. When you get to 17, between 6 and 7, there's a switch. The same way when you play baseball, the 7th inning stretch. Is a switch. When you go between the 6th and the 7th zodiac sign, right? Scales. You get Virgo onto the scales. You also get the snake. Right? We're going to get the snake onto the horse. So when we get to the snake onto the horse, we're going to have to look up the word fair, right? Or heifer. You can also say heifer, but you're going to also have to look for the shoe, which is the shoe, horseshoe. And when you look at the horseshoe, now you have to look at the horsepower. Is it a V6 or is it a V8, right? And then we're going to have to look that it's 4 on the floor. And we know that the horse is always standing. So if the horse is always standing, we also have to note that the horse, right, standing, so standing, yes. And then we have to know that the horse is first and it's second. So if it's standing, the stand part is for first and second, right? First, second, stand. So if it's standing, so it's got to stand on A, gold, and B, silver. And with that noted, we also have to note that there's going to be 2 bronze. Yeah, 2 LeBrons James. So what does that mean? Somebody put a lot of questions down there. So now we get LeBron's James. And the word bronze, okay, is going to equate to 11, and an ounce, 28 grams, to an ounce. This is a little bit of numerology, analogy, and wordplay all together, just to create the filing cabinets, right? The files to put in the cabinets, that should we bump into the same situation again, we've already began the files of understanding every single letter, every dot, every dash, area space, every single word that's ever been spoken. But let's begin with the letters. Let's begin with the numbers, the skeleton. Before there were any words, before anything existed, let us look at the history of the association of the beginning of the word. Ancient, philosophy, dictation, just the word itself, the letters that combine to make up the word itself, so we can have an analogy and an understanding with each letter. And as David Wynn Miller said, any combinations of letters, okay, is going to dictate that definition. I'm not sure if anybody has ever checked out David Wynn Miller. Past the age of 68, way ahead of his times, because a lot of my work that I bump into just reverberates exactly what this gentleman has said. Everything is being delivered, therefore everything is transport. Everything that is transport is run by the postal. Everything that is a postmaster or a post message, anything that is in messenger, anything that is spoken amongst us is all being delivered. Either you're walking it by foot, you're transporting it in a car, on a horse, in a plane, in a boat. Whether you're speaking across the phone, sending an email, watching a video, everything's getting delivered. So why don't we speak and begin to understand what the delivery is? Where did this all begin? Was it under the breath? In the cold? Was it under a campfire? While the wind was blowing the smoke? What are primary words that we all share together? Can it be the nose, the hand, the foot, the feet? It's funny the way we say the moon. We don't say the mean from the moon because we said feet. But what if we said the mon, unless we put it with a day? What is mon? In French, N-O-M is name. Ironically, that the A-M-E in name is a word used in French as âme. It means soul. The soul is within your name. So what is it about the N? Can we compare the N to any other letter? Somebody asked me today about how can we make the system better? I says, well, everything in the system, right, is labor intensive. Everything about the system is labor intensive. Does it cost anything for labor intensive? No. You just have to wake up in the morning and then go do it. Look at the board and say, hey, look, this is our city. These are all the tasks we need to do. And everybody goes up to the board and they press on the board, task, I'll do it. Task, I'll do it. And everybody walks up to the board every single morning. You can see the tasks that need to be done. Did it cost anything to go to that task? How do you get there? Task number 2, transport. Task number 3, what do we get back? We start a whole new exchange system just by understanding the tasks. So we should do it just for fun, set at that pretty much easy thing in your house. Who needs what done? Now the thing is, how can we get anything done if we need to go to somebody else's store? Can we open our own store? Tasks done, we opened up our own store. How do we pay for it? Task done. So we all join together in the task done group where it costs nothing. And this only can be started by those who have the means to help out others to get the task done in your community. Who do we buy from? Where do we go? What do we do? Task done. Everybody wakes up in the morning. If you can't do something, you still need to eat or collect off the system, right? But buy from the system into our tasks done. Eventually will move you over. Rome wasn't created in a day, but Rome is also part of the Akashic records. When they mentioned the USB key, well, at the beginning, they just had to record it. So the first Akashic record was in stone. When was the second Akashic record? Was it a USB? Right? Was it handwritten on paper? Was it in leather? Was part of the Akashic record, okay, a fire pit or a type of stone that still exists today? Is it the Akashic record part of the 334578? Is it part of what system? Is it did I mention the USB? We mentioned the USB. What about the word Phobos? What if we put it into a cubicle and called it Demos? Right? Like put it in a die, stamp it out. Demos. The dots of coding, right? Was it dots? Was it shorthand? Was it Morse code? But then Morse code would be then the dots and the dash. The beginning of communication. So that means, does it become documented? So let me back up and why I came here to start. We're going to go over some numbers. Just going to be a little bit of number talk. Let me look what's going on over here. Just want to see what's happening on the page. Oh, they removed me again. Let me go here. Ancient languages. Okay, I just saw that right now. Should we going back to ancient languages? I need to learn my own language before I can go and read somebody else's language. I can probably guess if I brought it back to my language, but how can I learn anything from the past if I don't know the present? And then just the word ancient also means the birth, right? Enceinte means to be pregnant, and siente, for me, I'm looking at the creation like C, right? C, A, B, C. That would be our birth. The C creation is our birth. The higher world, the upper world, okay, the north. Let's go up here, the high world. I like to call it the high world because it's 89. It's the heaven's birth. It's the H and I. It comes from A and B, right? The fourth, okay, times 2, and the A times 9. That's pretty crazy. So 1 and 9 go together by 1 times 9, but 2 and 8 go together by 2 times 4, equals to that 8. Just trying to understand the lower world is going to be 10. The upper world is going to be 30. The beginning of the lower world is 8, 1 between 2. And then the beginning of the upper world is where 9 goes between 8, 8 splits between 6 and 6, and you go through the 7th gate. What does that mean? It's it's actually 8 is part of 4 and 4, but instead of it being 4 and 4, okay, it becomes 8 and 8. Inside of 8 and 8, 8 and 8 is 16, 1 and 6 is 7. So I portray it. I don't like the way this camera is backwards, but I'm going to show you how I portray it. You see, here is my 6. My vibration, 2, 3, 4, fits over here. Now the upper world, when you switch this, becomes the 6 and 2, 8. It's a 6 and 2, 8, or the 5 and 1. So if you're doing a life path and you come to number 26, look at your reflection. It's the holder of your vibration. It's the tweet and the 7th gate with inside of it, inside of this one. The polars of 5 is 2. The polar of 1 is 6. So you see the way they work? Here's your 11, and here's your base creation, 1 and 2. So where is my 8 and 9? Every side is a 9. 1 resides in the 9th hole. It's 1 and all. It's number 18. It's 1 and all. That goes along with this cube. So let me have a little bit of this coffee over here. I just want to see if I just want to see how much time. 87%. Okay, just looking at that. So I was working on what is an hour and 3 minutes or 63 seconds. The king and the queen is 103. The queen is 62, the king is 41. Remember I showed you before where the vibration sits between 5 and 1, yet the king is 1 and 4. The AD, right? The AD for the king, let's say for Abraham, is through the split sun delta angle where the D is a D to this side and then it's a D to this side, 500 and 500 Roman numerals, where you come down with the letter M equals to that 1000 Roman numerals. The reverse of why not 1 and 5? Inside 1 and 5 is 6. Our 6 life, our vibration, 2, 3, and 4, from our birth to our 6th life comes in from 1 and 5. I'm not sure if I marked this down or not. We come to the division. I don't like the camera right now. Let me see if I can... We come to the division. What? Paper's falling on the floor. We come to the division of the 7th gate. Let me see if I can see where it is. Just give me a second. Yeah, it's over here. We come to the division of the 7th gate. When you go A through E, right, 1 through 5, unlike 1 through 4, here you're left with 2 and 3, right? Here you're left with 2, 3, and 4. So you now brought, remember, it's A and B to begin with. A and B and 8 and 9. This is when your 9 is connected, right? 1 and 9, 2 and 8. That's the cycle. But in order to get there, it's 4 times 2, creating the gateway through 8. We're the 7th gate. So what you get over here, 2 times 3 times 4 equals 24. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4 equals to that 6 and 8. But we're splitting up the heavens. Instead of 8 and 8, 16, right? It becomes 6 and 6, 12. We separate, we create an extra space over here in between, a halfway space. Between 6 and 6 is supposed to be 0.5, right? Isn't that supposed to be 6.5? It's called the 7th gate. You can even see it. You can even see it over here. Every side is supposed to be 9, right? There's 4 missing here and 3 missing here, so that's 7, 11 passing through the gateway. 2 times 4, 2 plus 4. What passes through? It's your 9 birth. This is your vibration. What goes up to that vibration is the way your cycle runs. You see, your cycle runs in 3 days, brings you up to your full vibration. A single day is 1,440 minutes. 2 days is 2880. Everything gets split apart right over here. This is the half cycle, right? 1 day, 2 days, 3 days, you complete this part of the cycle, your trinity. But in this world this is 1/3. We're into the 1/3. When we go into the quarters, this becomes 5760. You know what year that is? Hebrew time, the year 2000. We started at 3760, right? We started at 3760. That's 880 away from here. Remember the 88 constellations, 44 for Abraham. You see this over here? It happens in the PM, right? 16 and 13, 29. The 29th day is when the birth of electric company and waterworks, right? On the 29th day, the 28th day ends the cycle. The 29th day begins the cycle. Okay, this is the PM, 7 and 4. We run with 7 months of 31 days and 4 months of 30 days. This is also going to calculate to 13. This at the end of this calculation, I'm going to end up at 19. I'm going to flip this over, end up with 61 to church, 91 to spirit. This one over here, I'll end up with the same thing. This one will create this 1 times 6, 1 plus 6. The reverse of this is K. K is 11. 1 times 1, 1 plus 1 will create 1 and 2 equals to 3. Alpha, beta, all the 3 gateways come through this one. And then this one creates the moon. And you see the way this goes up and down? Well, it goes up and down, joining two sections, the left to the river in the center, and then to the right, it's also the Federation, this M. 8:30 at night, or how about the year 2030? The year 2030, look at that. ABC all comes together. Look at this. The cube now comes together, completing the day. Look at this. 2030 leaves me 3 hours and 30 minutes left to go in the day, or 210, back to the cube, back to the connection of creation. We go 2 times and 3 times, brings up to our creation. Why 1 and 2? Well, the dartboard tells me to do 1, 2, and 3 times. When I do it the 3rd time, look at that, I get full vibration. So when I bring my 830, right, which becomes 6130, it becomes this. It becomes 3600, 369, 1230 minutes. I use this time 3 times, 1230 minutes times 3, 24 hours, 60 minutes, 420. Okay, this is when you join all the 2020 worlds. This is communication inside of this one, coming out with the cube. This is also going to connect to the moon. Singular 0 is the moon. Instead of the 6 man, you'll use the 0, right? For the 9 birth, you're using the moon. So you're going through 0, the 15th letter, 1 and 5 equals to 6. So I don't have to talk about them both to communicate through the moon, hitting both 6 and 9. We can't mention them both. We just put 0. Then we get to the 432, that's our vibration. The next cycle of this brings you even. The ABC, 3 days. Look at that T. T is a representation of communication. 4 times 5, connecting the complete star. We have the 3 hours, or the 180 minutes. So we're going to go to 8:30 instead of at night. We're going to go to the day. So the 8:30 is 480. Is 480 minutes. And 30 is 510. We're now connected up to Mars, 17, 17, 17. Mars and the moons are now connected. This is the basketball. This is our creation, 10, 10, 10 creation. Now we have to understand to run time into 1/3, 2/3, 1/4, 3/4, and 1/2. Look at that, 3/4 and 1/2, right? The first quarter, the middle half, and the last quarter. Can we break this one up? We sure can. This will be 1/3 in the heart of 1/3 and 1/3, but this one will be different. I'll get 1/4, I'll get 50%, right? So if I had to break this up towards 100, what would I do? Would it be 20, 20, and then 60 in the middle? Let me just do the other one. This one will be 20, and then this one will be 60, and then it'll be 20. Or I'll go 25, 50, and 25. In this one over here, right, I'm going to have 4 of them, so I might be setting it up, okay, for 100 is I can do this one, 100. But what if I was working on 110? How would I do this one, right? Would it be 70, 20, and 20? Would it be, I have to make this look nice. Would it be 30 and 50 and 30? This is the one we're running right now. This is the one of the 7th gate. I'm looking at the 2 ways football goes. So by understanding the football and rules and regulations. Now, if I want to show 9 hours, okay, of time, 9 hours of time times 160 equals to 540, right? 540, 9 times 6 is 540. I'm just trying to remember where the whole thing was. Just give me a second. It might not be on this page. Just 1 second. Yeah, it's over here. 9 times 160 is 1440. When we're going to break our day up, it's 1 day of 24 hours. It's 2 parts of 12 hours. It's 3 parts of 8 hours. It's 4 parts of 6 hours. It's 6 parts of 4 hours. It's 8 parts of 3 hours, right? And then we have to go to 12 times 2 hours, right? And we have to look at everything. Then this one becomes, look, 8 and 6 through the gateway. This one becomes 3 and 2 communication. This will become 212, 100 Celsius, 212 Fahrenheit, possibly in the oven. Then this one is going to be ape, and this one will be monkey. This one is where your cube fits in, right over here. Let's call it the tetrahedron of some sort, or 2 of them coming together, right? Call this one Earth and Mars coming together. Now we can do the same thing again. Look, both of these, Earth and Mars, can come together through our birth and into creation of communication. 1 times 2, 1 plus 2 is 3 and 2. See this 212, 212, these 2 come together. So let me turn this around. Where's the, let me see what's, so I'm not sure who's still here, and I shouldn't be doing these videos. So I was speaking about 1/3. Another thing about 1/3, in order to complete the moon, cycle, there's only 21 dots on here. So I'm going to have to go through 1 cube and 1/3 of a cube, because the cubes run at 7s, right? The 2 ends of the cube. In order to run the cube at 7, what happens is this area and this area, they're not meeting like this. They're meeting like this. And then they just pull together like that. Right? So if you're looking at pi, 3.141592, so why don't we look at all of pi when we bring the 2 ends together to run off this little stick over here that runs through there. And then I believe if it runs through there, what else is going on in the center here? Just let's take a look at what's going on behind me. I can hear you breathing in the background. You think if I say their names, they'll jump up? If I said Ozzy, Denver. But I bet you if I stood up, they'd get up. I think his eye is open. So now I'm going to get back to the 62nd hour is the queen. The 63rd hour, that's the base of creation. In order to create, we need 6 and 3, 3 and 6. In order to create, I need to put the 2 and the 1 together. Once the 2 and the 1 together, we can have 7, 11 alive. Right over here, F, but we play with 2 cubes, 2 and 3 and 4 cubes, you and me. So we get to the 63rd hour. We're also going to join up Earth and Mars as 52 and 51. And I look at Earth and Mars as the Y and the O letter in Yo. I look at it as memory, 512, right? The 512 memory that we need, the 256, which I think is 256. 16 by 16 equals 256. Everything changes at 17. That's when the teacher comes in. The difference between 16 by 16 and 17 by 17, first of all, 17 by 17 leaves you at 289. It just so happens in the deck of cards, the 2, 8, and 9, the 28 day and the 29 cycle, and the 9 and 8, which is the high creation, through the gateway of Q. We are born as the cap star of Capricorn, running through Aries and scales. Aries and scales, it might just be that Aries is holding up the scales. Just might be that way. The thing is, it's number 7 plays the moon part. The 5, the 1, the 3, the 5, and the 9, they play the heart. So if they're playing the heart part, they're also playing the sun part. And that's 2 and 5. Earth is 5 and 2 for the heart, and the sun is 54. So we have 52 for the heart, and we have 54 for the sun. The thing is about the heart and the earth is that our birth number, right, BIRTH, 99, could and should be BEARTH. See, we have 17 letters that become the teacher. How do they become the teacher? Why do they become the teacher? Just to note, between 17 and 16, there's a 30 difference. 17 and 16 equals to 33. 156, which is 1.65, which is the separation between 17 and 16, is 16.5. And 16.5 or 156 is 6 times 26 is 156. The number of faces on a master cube, excluding the interior face. Otherwise would be 162, equivalent to the moon. What does that mean? It means that this is a mini cube. It takes 26 more of these for this mini cube to be the master of its own cube. So it's 26 by 6 sides equaling to 156. Plus 6 of the sides that it is. Because you might see 6 sides here, but there's actually 9. So it becomes the master of everything that's around it. And then there's other multiplications that are coming out with this. So we have 103, which is also September. September is also, when they say sept equals to 7, and the September, the word is the 9th month, right? So we're looking at 7 and we're looking at the 9th month. We're looking at 42 and 28. equals the cycle of the gateway of the birth, the 273rd day, which will be the 29th of September, and then the 5-day entry point leaves us at the 277th day. Should be the end of the cycle of the 40 weeks. Although it ends at 280, everything enters on the 3rd and 4th day in that cycle. 3 and 4 is the window. The total is 70, so also September is 103. JC is 103, but it's reserved. It's a reserved number. 10 is a reserved number, right? The J letter, okay, is a reserved letter. It's J10. So what you would end up with is, when you're counting Aleph, Bet, Gimel, Dalet, and you know in Dalet it's ET, right? That's where your DNA comes in, from Dalet into Gimel, like in Gimel Elohim. And in Dalet would be your DNA. And when you go Ohim, right, you're talking about the heavens of Mars, your birth inside the 7th gate, inside that gateway. So by being born as 13, right, you're born under the roof of the mother. Let me see if I can show you where you are. There were 6 of them yesterday. Today there are none. Wow, that's not possible. Not possible. Possible, not possible. Oh, you know what? Let me go into this one here. Whoop. Yeah, so I need to bring back my computer. I want to bring back my computer just to put this out here. Aries, Mars, the Sun, Gemini, what's going on? The decant rulership, that is the decant or the deacon dance. I'm not really sure in which part period is this, the part period now or not. Just give me a minute. I have part of the system. Here's part of the system. But here's where you reach the 7th gate. Here's where you reach the 7th gate. You see this V over here? Well, that's the split at the gateway, 2 and 4. How do I get 2 and 4? 3, 5, 7, 2, 1, 5, 9, 4, 4, 8, 4, 2, 6, 4, 2, 4, 4. So it's 2 and 4, they crisscross, right? Same as the beard, the bottom part, the 2 teeth and the 4 teeth. The same thing here, right? And note, if you have a star, keep creating that star. And when you notice this, right? Have you ever noticed, whoop, can't do it that way. Okay, we'll just get back to the notes. So you have your first house, 66, and your second house, 66. You can call them 88 if you want, but I like to use my 88 up here, where we brought 2 systems, locked horns together. Here is a goat system. Here is the cow system. Why? We only have 2 hookups here. I have 4 hookups here. So this is where the cow jumps over the moon. And here's where the goat. And here's the 2 different houses. Here's where the 88 constellations. My question is, 66 and 66, are we bringing something together here? When I run this across, it creates the B letter. Are you living in the house of Bet or in the house of vet, right? Bet, does that mean two worlds? Living in both worlds, or just in the house of vet, the animal house, the one that went into the army? This is off the game of pool, the 15 balls in the game of pool. So there's still no comments in here. I like to see comments. Gotta take this off. Okay, so let's see. Yeah, so I was talking about in Hebrew, they don't say Yod, Hey, but they do say Yod, Hey, Vav, which is 10 and 5 and 6, right? They do say that. So they're saying Leo, right, or Capricorn. And then they're going over to Virgo, right, which is Yod, Hey, Vav. And at the same time, inside Gimel, which is 3, part of the word comes out to be Leo, and Elohim is the other part. And you have that shortened up for Leo. And a lot of them say it's Leo the tiger, Leo the lion. But Ole is also within that word, and there's other words that were in E and O. L is your base communication. It's 125, so le is a 125 communication in which can be created by using number 3 and 4 again. So 3 times 4, 3 plus 4 is 7 and 12, right? You minus it and you add it, you become 19, or you become 05. So you create now 19 or 05. So that's back to the L and E together. The O is an expression of bringing the star system, 3 parts of the star system together. That's where the O comes in. Also to note that on every single part of this, each one is 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9, 9. Every face is 81. So a face of the cube is 9 times 9 equals to 81, times 4 equals to 324, which is equivalent to 18 by 18, which is equivalent to C and X, which is your base creation. So what did I just do? Just give me a minute, let me finish this. So now I have to get the 81 by 2 equals to 162. Okay, so that is going to be 162 P and B. Should I bring P and B together? What should I do with this? 162. Okay, I don't have to do anything. I'm just going to explain it right now. So what we did over here is I spoke about J-A-B Gimel Dalet, right? When we get the Hey, it's Yo Hey Vav. So I brought this together. This is 21. When you bring this together, right, this Yod, this here, I like to say Yod equals A, B, C, D. So what you actually have is by going Yod, Hey, Vav, you have everything you need. Yod, Hey, Vav. So you have your complete 21. Now if I reverse this, okay, if I reverse this, I'm now going to go with I'm going to go with this. And when I do my work, if I have 3, then I'll have these 2, and these 2, and these 2. These 2, these 2, and these 2. These 2, these 2, and these 2. Why did I do this? 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 equals 10 yod. This is the reverse. What's the heart of this? I didn't do the heart of this. I have to do the heart of it, but I'm not going to right now. I have to figure out what it is. The 9 base face to every cube, right? It equals to 4 sides and then 2 sides. The total is 486, right? So if I do 486, that's going to be something to do with the tetrahedrons. It's going to fit alongside of it, this over here. So C and X, the reverse alphabet, 324, which is 18 by 18. The reverse alphabet of C, okay, X and W is 423. It's ironic the way they both come together. This one's showing me communication at the 7th gate in the same house. In the same house, 22 for life, 2 and 2, right? What is 2 times 2, 2 plus 2, right? The 4 houses of Venus coming together. So we don't, so when they count in Hebrew, they go, when they say 15, they go tet, vav, and then they go tet, and they go zion, but they don't go tet, vav, tet, zion. What they're actually doing is going DNA, DNA. That's what they're doing. They're just going double DNA. In English, the tet means head. The ET can also be used as number 25, which is Earth, can be made bigger and smaller. The ET is also DNA from French to English. It equals to 25. The 5, it is 1 times 5, and where our vibration holds on to, and then it's 4 by 5, equaling to 20, equaling to 5. What does it mean? Between 1 and 5 is 2, 3, 4, which is our vibration, which is the holder bringer within inside of us to our connecting the moons, connecting our bodies to the spiritual world through the breath. The other one is the sun, because 4 by 5, number 45, is connects. Something might say the solar plex. I'm not really sure what the solar plex is, right? But we have to know that plex and plexiglass and things that can expansion. It's also the female, right? So we have to understand the female part of our creation. Is it the price we pay in the beginning of female? We're going to remove the phi, which is 11, which is F, right? 5 and 6, part of the pole of creation. Starting to lose my voice. It's almost time to end this. So what I want to go back to now is 63 minutes, and just to be able to focus on the next time we come back. What is 67 minutes? Call it the soul. What is 69 minutes? Call it the birth and rotation. What is the 77th minute? We can talk about Jesus, but also Jesus Christ, the 74th minute, the same thing. So we're going to have 60 and 14, and then we'll have 60 and 17, and also to understand that when we get to 77, we've now ignited Mars at 77, also the power of Christ. We also have the peanut, which is going to tell us about the multiple houses. So we have that, so we have all these minutes to add up. The other thing I wanted to mention inside of this is we broke down the horse, we broke down this, the birth, the Mayans, yes, the 20 by 18, the 26 by 10, the Mayans. I'm going to do that in my next video of how everything in the Mayans break down right to the Gregorian calendar. I don't have enough voice left for this. Even into, like I mentioned, breaking things up through the star system, Somebody asked me about money. I said just take together the M-O-N and the M-O-O-N, or the goon, or the soon, or the saloon. This is 0 for the circular moon, and then Mars for the 2 moons of Mars. We spoke about the AM and the PM and what 2030 is. I wanted to finish about 2030, right? And when 2030 is all the numbers come together. I'm going to put this up here one more time before I end it, right? We got the year 2030. So in this is 1230 minutes. 20 times 60 is 1230. ABC. Second part of it, third part of it in Trinity is down to 369. Take this out darts. In darts, it's also double, triple. And remember, when you do it triple, you have to remember, we end up with another 75, the electric moon. We end up with 210, the cube. Now we have communication into our creation. Then we have the day, second day, the third day. When we come back to the fourth day, we're at 5760. We ignite all the constellations from all the planets coming in the year 2030. Then we reduce the 2030 to 830, becomes 51. We're now aligned with our vibration of Mars. 50 and 30, we now align with the 2 systems. What is the 2 systems? 100% is 60 minutes. 100% is 60 minutes. This is the 110 yards. This is the CFL that runs things by 30s. Mars 51, the 153 fish. Well, when you stop over here, you're on Valentine's. It's the half space. It's the time space. Not the teen. It's the nickel. It's the beaver. It's underneath the water. 180 minutes. Understanding that it's 1.5 parts of the hour. It's 3 hours, right? Over here. But it's 1.5 of what 12 is, so you're meeting at the center. 6, 6, and 6 to what is 2 times 90. So you can see how all the numbers line up in 2030, which is also like 8 and 3, 1 times 1, 1 plus 1, 2 times 2, 2 plus 2, bringing all the heavens into creation at 8:30 in the morning. What is 20 and 30? It's the 4 houses to the 8 heavens. 4 by 2 is 8 to running the cycle of creation. Thank you for watching this video.